A new app to boost longevity. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us is Dr. Michael Roizen, author of The Great Age Reboot and many more. Hi, Dr. Mike.
Hello, Fred. How are you?
Terrific. Thanks to your book. I've been following a lot of your advice and the apps that you've had out. So thank you for that, first of all.
Privilege. I know you've told me you're eating different, you're lost weight, you feel more energy, and you're doing a whole bunch of other things, including different resistance exercises too.
Well, it's certainly helping a lot, I think.
That's
I
great.
think
That's the most joy for me, if you will, in doing the book and the app. It is, you know, I should. This almost sounds like bragging, but I probably get 25 letters a week thanking me, which is unbelievable, if you will, if that many people take their time to thank me for helping them change.
Well, I'm sure that it must be gratifying, but it's all well deserved. And now you have a new app coming along, which
Well, it's a revision. What happened when the last app, when the Reboot Your Age app came out? Within the first week and a half, 9,600 plus people tried to get on it, and only I think about 900 succeeded. So you succeeded, thank you. But the problem was there were glitches in it, and it kept redoing some of the information. We learned, for example, that more people over 65 want it on their iPad rather than on their phone, and it wasn't set for that. And so we have it's essentially a upgraded version of the old app called Longevity Playbook will be coming out. So you can go to longevityplaybook.com and sign up for the free newsletter, and the app will be coming out June 15th.
and the newsletter sounds terrific too. What are people going to find in there?
Well, it's the latest medical news of the week and what it means to them and their longevity. So it is longevity bits in that. We also have a longer newsletter as well, which is delving deep into the science. If physicians, it's basically that's a physician version of the or provider version of the same thing. But in any case, the app is the key because, as you said, with helping you, etc., it's like having me in your pocket, me and the full scientific advisory board team of the Longevity Playbook, which is 10 more of us. So you get all of us in your pocket every day.
That's just terrific. So, and from time to time, we've seen videos of you. Will they be in the new app as well?
They're upgraded. So that's one of the things that people asked for was the videos not looking quite as like I did them on my iPhone. So we have professionals who did them now. And so with that, as I told you, we're completing a last seed round before we go into a round, but a last seed round. So the technology is now there. We've got the demos of it now, and it looks really great, and no problem getting on and off it.
Well, I didn't mind the other types of videos because it made it seem like, hey, you're really there. Maybe I'm FaceTiming with you or something, but that's fine having them done any way that you can. The advice is always terrific and useful and very personable. Now tell us, you take a very different approach in the way you talk to consumers or patients, if you will, because in a sense, we're all your patients who are paying attention here. You take a different
Well,
approach in the attitude and even the language that you use.
yeah, basically, what we try and do is find what motivates someone and to try and help them stay motivated. Some of that is with buddies, if you will. So the new Longevity app will have a special 2-for-1 offer. So when one person buys it, they can give it to another person as a buddy. So it's two people can you get to use, meaning for one subscription, it's two people. But but it really is that their choices matter, and your choices matter because they influence how your genes function. And so it's trying to find out that motivation piece and then to give them easy steps that help them stay on the pathway. I think you're, what is it, 6 months into this now or so, and you look great, by the way. And you've continued. I know you've how I know how good you feel, but you can tell the audience if you want to, because you've done a whole bunch of great changes.
Sure. Well, it does make a big difference. The time of day that you're eating, first meal of the day is always after 11 a.m. these days. And I heard that directly from you at an in-person conference that you were doing that, but also some intermittent fasting as well, and activity. Got to keep the activity up.
Right. And some supplements or small molecules to help as well. But it is, the 6 pillars are stress management, having a posse, and passion. And I know Techstination. I've got to make sure I get it right. Techstination. And what you do with Mary are some of your passions and helping others, and a posse as part of the stress management, and then nutrition choices, timing, and portion size, physical activity, sleep and brain health, avoiding unforced errors, and then the 6th one is supplements and small molecules. All of those are choices we can make to slow our rate of aging and eventually get prepared to reverse it.
And you are on top of really all of the developments as much as any one human being can be. And there is so much going on.
I've
So
got
many news items.
to just show you. You probably know this, but I may be the only guy here. I have season tickets. My one thing I do other than medicine, and people say, "What's my hobby?" I read medicine as a hobby. That's crazy, right? But anyway, so I may be the only one who goes to. We have season tickets to the Cavaliers, the basketball team in Cleveland, and the Browns, and we have 10 games at the Indians. But these were what I took to the Indians last night, which is different papers, and these are the ones I didn't get to read, so they're assignments for me for today because I actually enjoy it. They're not, I don't look at it as assignments, but fun. And so that's my fun, and I may be the only one I've seen. Once you've gone to about 3 Cavalier games, 3 basketball games, every routine they do during the timeouts and at halftime. So I read medicine at the halftime and during the timeouts. So I think I'm the only one, other than my wife, who enjoys doing it too. I'm the only one during all the timeouts and halftime reading medicine, but it's fun.
So
And
for
in
you,
fact,
maybe it's not a good.
I've got a whole bunch of the administrative staff doing healthy things for themselves, and they've passed on some of the things, like for their joints, to the players.
That's just terrific. So, I mean, you must not be happy that Major League Baseball is trying to speed things up between pitches.
Well, I got to tell you, I got a lot less red yesterday. It was our first game of the season. We try not, we've got a 10-pack, and we try not to go when it's real cold. So yesterday was our first game of the season, and as I said, I expected to get these 4 articles plus the others I read. These 4 never got read yesterday because the game was too fast.
Wow.
You're right.
So the idea is, and there's a serious note to this, because you are digesting all of this news, all of these developments, and essentially you are filtering you're acting as a filter for consumers, for people who are paying
That,
attention to what you're doing.
that's exactly right. What the app does, I said, it's like having us in your pocket, but it curates longevity choices for each individual so that it makes it so that there's got to be solid science behind each choice before we recommend it. And if there isn't, we tell you there isn't solid science, and we tell you what the risk benefit ratio is of that choice.
What's some of the most exciting news that you've heard lately that gets you really excited here?
Well, there were two things, in the newsletter that went out last week. It was about gene editing and, if you will, the how you would do both gene editing to take away blindness, which has now been done in a number of individuals in with two forms of genetic deficits. And the other is, if you will, in a whole bunch of mouse forms of retinitis pigmentosa. So retinitis pigmentosa is an area where you can go blind slowly, and it has a whole group of genetic variants, probably more than I can count. More than 400 are responsible. But in two of them, in two of those variants, they've reversed the blindness in a significant number of people. And in a whole larger group of mice versions of retinitis pigmentosa, they've reversed it. So and just imagine if you can do that with, and we think you can, with the basic mechanism of brain dysfunction, or with the basic mechanism of inflammation, or with a basic mechanism of aging itself. So imagine we can give that therapy and affect many cells in the body, not just the eye and not just the brain and not just the heart, but many cells, and you can reverse the process. That's what the reboot, that's why we called it the great age reboot, because you could get younger. In other words, take away the age, take away what causes you to age, and you either get young or stay younger. So to me, when you say what excites me, as you know, in the Great Age Reboot, we predicted that one of the 14 areas in aging mechanism research, which have all rebooted, lowered the age from the equivalent of 100 to the equivalent of 40 in mice, that is 100 years of human life to the equivalent of 40 human life. There 14 have succeeded in animal models. Well, with 14 shots on goal, we expect one of those at least to succeed with an 80% probability. So there's an 80% probability, Fred, that in 20 years you're going to be 40 again. In fact, in 10 years you may be able to be 40 again. And so that's what you're doing now is keeping all of your organs in as good shape as possible so that you really will be able to reverse to 40, rather than having some disabilities that aren't reversible. So you should be congratulated on your choices. They matter. And the science is coming along so fast. It is, I love it. I mean, that happened. And that was those articles from 2 weeks ago, what I wrote about last week in the longer newsletter on the longevityplaybook.com.
That's terrific. So the website again is longevityplaybook.com. You also have a book, and you can just see the top of it behind you there, on cooking.
Yeah.
The What to Eat When cookbook.
Right.
They're both important, right? What you eat and when.
Well, the fun part of the What to Eat When cookbook is, as you know, our number one rule for nutrition is only eat what you love and that loves you back. And so the great thing is I think there are I'll probably get the number wrong. I think there are around 140 recipes in the book that we did that are exactly that. They love you and loves you back, whether it is chocolate mousse or whether it is a hummus dip or whether it is a pizza. Um, we turned all of them into with just nutrients that you love that love you back.
Just terrific. And the Great Age Reboot is still going strong and chock full of information. In fact, you must think, boy, with all of this that you're reading, you probably want to do updates every 2 months or something.
Well, that's why we've got the website and the app so that we can do updates literally weekly. So that's exactly what it is for. So, if you will, so the one of the articles that came out this week, you know, people look at different sleep stages, but the article I've got to read, I've read it once, but I got to read it again to get all the full information, is one on slow wave sleep and why it's so important in preventing dementia. And so most of the apps don't talk about that, but slow wave sleep does come in those 90-minute cycles. And that's why you really want to sleep at least 90 minutes at a time when you're at night. And the longer you sleep, of course, we've talked about the point of you dehydrate your brain a little bit, so you don't want to drink water at night. But that dehydration is important in getting rid of waste. This would say when you do that, and maybe it's using bumetamide, which is that diuretic I talked about at your conference, where the Gladstone people had shown that it can prevent dementia compared to other water pills or compared to people who don't take water pills. $4 a month water pill showed um, in fact, maybe what it does is promote this slow wave sleep. So we've got to look at a whole bunch of correlates, but that's my fun and what I do.
You know, people spend sometimes an awful lot of money on, subscription meal plans or this kind of shake or that kind of shake. And once you make it clear that through online activity that you're interested in this kind of thing, you're inundated. And then there's, of course, the searches that people do, and you don't know what's real information and what's not. So you need to you are distinguished from the stuff that's out there that, maybe is true, maybe it's not. There's so much
Well, that's
questionable stuff out there.
I'm going to tell you, as you know, I wrote, I've got it here, so I'll show it to you. I wrote Real Age, Are You As Young As You Can Be? And we did the Real Age test at that time. And what I'm proud of, one of the things I'm proudest of is of all one, when it was looked at independently by a group at UC San Diego to see how it correlated with disability and death rates, it was more accurate than any other model in cardiac disease, such as the MESA or the, if you will, the Reynolds or the Framingham models. It was more accurate on a receiver operating curve than any of those. And none of it has been reversed. And the reason is because we insisted on at least 4 studies in humans, and there are 151 things. There are now over 180 choices. That's why we do the Longevity app, to help people both make those choices correctly, curate them for them, and then get prepared for the reboot that's coming. But there are 180 choices that have at least 4 studies in humans that show they matter into how fast or slow you age, and in specific areas. So that's one of the things. I'll give you an example. When I recommend ASU, because it's the only disease modifying agent with essentially no side effects. Everything has side effects, but it doesn't have any that are debilitating or of a high risk. For people who want to prevent arthritis, virtually everyone says, what the hell is that? Yet they're very good data on both its effectiveness and its ability to not have significant side effects, both side effect data and effect data. So that's the kind of thing we talk about on the Longevity Playbook that's in the Longevity Playbook app, so people know what the data are for studies in humans, preponderance of data going the same way. That gives us the information. So you saw today, in fact, mammograms were recommended by the U.S. Preventive Services for women 40 and older. Well, that was known in 1998 in 4 studies. They should have done that then. They've been waffling between 40 and 50 since. The American Cancer Society came out for younger earlier, and thank God the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force finally did it today, which means that most insurance companies will pay for it between 40 and 50.
That's terrific. So this boils down to real information, real science, not the clickbait. And you don't mind telling people, hey, this looks promising, but we don't have enough information yet to recommend it. You're really upfront with people, which is just terrific. And we haven't even mentioned your affiliation with the Cleveland Clinic, the renowned.
Well, I'm in their space, so that's right. The Cleveland Clinic. I was chief wellness officer for whatever it is, 12 years, and I started the Wellness Institute, and we changed the trajectory. You know, I'm proud of this too. We not only have we saved the clinic over $1.3 billion over the or helped contribute to that saving without changing the benefit plan and employees and other probably 500 million individually, but not each individual getting 500 million, but each individual saving money who participated in our voluntary program. But we've slowed their rate of aging by about 15%. So they'll have more longer life with less disability. And we did that through the same program, if you will. And so that's right. It helps humans as well as save you medical cost money.
Yeah, right. Of course, the companies and people too like to put a price tag sometimes on things, but the real value is priceless. What you're giving to people.
No, that's really true. And you'd say, if it's priceless, why don't we get more motivated? So we had to use some other techniques, and that's what we do in the Longevity Playbook. Help get at what your motivation is, so you will do that.
Just terrific. Once again, it's longevityplaybook.com. That's the website to head to.
Thank you. That's exactly right. Longevityplaybook.com.
And
I wouldn't mind, since I earn a royalty on it, they can pick up the Great Age Reboot book or What to Eat When cookbook too.
Well, we were going to recommend both of those as well. Just terrific. Dr. Michael Roizen, wonderful seeing you again, and thanks for spending time with us.
My privilege. Thank you.